Let's start with the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers were in action this morning against the Detroit Pistons, and it was Lebron James as well as Anthony Davis that led the side to a convincing win, 124 to 117 points win over the Pistons. LeBron James top scored for the Lakers with 35 points, had 5 rebounds as well, while for Anthony Davis, he was able to gather 34 buckets, 15 boards, as well as 7 dimes, and en route, a very good performance. Lonnie Walker, the fourth, also had 18 points for the Lakers, while Russell Westbrook contributed 11 points and 9 assists to the Lakers' cause. For the Detroit Pistons, you had Bojan Bogdanovic with 38 points and Jaden Ivey with 16 points, but that wasn't enough. And for the Lakers, the win means they are now 11 wins and 15 losses to the start of the season, while for the Pistons, they are 7 wins and 22 losses to the start of the season. Not looking good for them at all. The Lakers will take on the Boston Celtics next on Tuesday, while for the Detroit Pistons, they will be taking on the Charlotte Hornets on Wednesday. Well, moving away from there, let's still talk basketball, but this time around with the Phoenix Suns. Yes, the Phoenix Suns were in action as well against the New Orleans Pelicans, and what a game that was. It ended, in a topsy-turvy manner, but Zion Williamson scored 35 points to outmuzzle the Suns, who were without talisman Devin Booker, who is battling with a left hamstring injury. Zion Williamson has said just now with 35 points. You had CJ McCollum with 29 points, and you had Marshall contributing 16 points, not forgetting Larry Nance Jr., who had 15 points, 4 steals, and 2 blocks to the cause of the Pelicans. For the Suns, DeAndre Ayton had 28 points, gathered 12 boards in there. Michael Bridges with 27 points as well, not forgetting Cameron Payne with 17 points. You also had Chris Paul, the point guard, gathering 11 buckets in there. Damian Lee had 12 points, and as I said earlier, the Suns missed out on their talisman in terms of Booker battling with the left hamstring. So the Suns are now 18 wins and 11 losses to the start of the season, while for the Pelicans, they are looking quite good to make the playoffs with 18 wins and 8 losses to the start of the season. 129 to 124 points that ended in favor of the Pelicans, and they will be taking on the Jazz. That's the Utah Jazz on Tuesday, while for the Phoenix Suns, it will be the Houston Rockets they'll be taking on Tuesday as well. Wrapping up discussions now for basketball, let's look at the Houston Rockets, who earned a shock win over the Milwaukee Bucks, 97 to 92 points. That was as you had Jalen Green star for them with 30 points and 7 rebounds. Kevin Porter Jr. had 18 points and 7 assists. Not forgetting Kenyon Martin with 10 points and 5 rebounds as the Rockets earned the shock win over the Milwaukee Bucks. For Milwaukee Bucks, well, it was a quiet night for the talisman, talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, who had 16 points and 18 rebounds. Jrue Holiday top scored for the franchise with 25 points and 8 assists, while he had Bobby Portis with 17 points and 15 rebounds as well. The loss means that the Bucks are now 19 wins and 7 losses to the start of the season, while for the Houston Rockets, they have 8 wins and 18 losses to the start of the season. For the Bucks, more concerns considering Chris Middleton sprained his left ankle just after a quarter in that game and exited the game without making a return. So it means they have more injuries to battle with. They had won 4 in a row prior to the defeat to the Houston Rockets, and they will be taking on the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions, on Tuesday. That's a difficult matchup for the Milwaukee Bucks, while for the Houston Rockets, they'll be taking on the Phoenix Suns on Tuesday. Moroccans are still buzzing from that win. The continent of Africa is buzzing. The Arab world is buzzing, and you know quite well that the FIFA World Cup is a gift that keeps giving, especially as Qatar is showing that they can host the World Cup. And who says they can't host the 2036 Olympic Games? That's in the rumors. That's, out there in the open. Now I'm being joined by Ojo Kayode, a sports analyst, and we're here to talk about the World Cup. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Samson. It's a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon, viewers.
What do you make of the match itself?
Fantastic match for the Moroccan team, but so disappointing for the Portuguese because you expected them to actually row back.
They had so many talents.
Since first half that they considered that goal from Enesiri, you expected a talent, arrays of forwards, great forwards, strikers and all that, but the Moroccan defense put them at bay.
Talking about the Moroccans, one of the things that have stood out for so many people at this World Cup is that they are yet to concede a goal at this time, bar the own goal they scored against Canada.
Yeah.
You know, so if you take out that own goal, no team has scored against Morocco, and they've played against Portugal. You look at the array of attacking talents. They've played against Belgium, Croatia. These are sides that can score goals. So do you think it's the defense that has carried them thus far, or you think it's a combination of both the defense and the offense? Offensively, they're not scoring lots of goals. It's almost you know, a goal per match.
It's the compatibility of the team from the defense to the midfield. If you look at what Amrabat is doing at that middle,
it's mind blowing.
He has been giving us consistent classic displays.
Yes,
and the defense are now leveraging on that with Hakimi, Ziyech coming back to support, and Enesiri himself coming back. All of them. So they only break on counter. And that's the formation that they used to subdue Spain.
Yes.
That Spain couldn't score a goal. The same thing with Belgium. The
Croatia
same thing
as well.
with Portugal. And then you cannot take away the brilliance of the goalkeeper.
Exactly, Bono.
Excellent saves that he made, especially against Portugal. The assist that Ronaldo gave to Joao Felix,
yes,
and that left-footed shot, it was such a fantastic save from the goalkeeper that actually made that scoreline to remain 1-0
exactly
for that 90 minutes. So the entire team of the Moroccan, they've done beyond expectation in this tournament.
Looking at what we know, before we talk about Ronaldo and his international future, but looking at what we know, you think the Moroccans actually stand a chance against the defending champions, France?
Of course, that's a major problem that people keep having with Morocco now. They come into every match as the underdogs.
Yes.
And they leverage on that identity. And then they give in their best without pressure. So as much as they are now, they've actually made a record. They set a record for the African football.
An Arab team as well.
And the Arab team. So they have done very well for themselves. And in short, for the entire FIFA World Cup today, many of those Moroccan players will actually feature in the best team of the tournament.
Exactly.
Because they did very well. And so they've done well. And playing against the defending champion is going to be a huge task ahead of them. But of course, it's not something they can do. That is beyond what they can do.
Okay, let's talk about Ronaldo. I mean, we can't talk about this match without Ronaldo. We saw him post-match crying. Apparently, the next World Cup he will be 42 thereabouts. So it's as good as saying, it's safe rather to say that his international career is over. Although the man hasn't made a final decision on that. What do you make of this World Cup in terms of affecting Ronaldo's future? Are we going to see him at the next Euros 2024 in Paris, or you think he's going to call it a day?
It's going to be difficult for him to come back to the national team again. Looking at the Goncalo Ramos, the display of the unveiling of Ramos in this World Cup, for that hat-trick that he scored, the goal he scored against Nigeria, and all of that.
Yes.
So these are things that are already propelling another new generation of the Portuguese team, which they are leveraging on. And considering that Cristiano Ronaldo might not be able to get a top team, all what is going to happen to him now depends, in future, depends on the football club that he will join.
But 38, who signs him? You have to look at it as well.
That's the thing. But he keep telling people, he keep making people believe that he has the physique, he has the desire, he's still hungry for goals, as he was when he was 18 years old, 25 years old. And so for any football club that can believe in that, and of course, with the presence of Ronaldo in a team, it puts a lot of pressure on those defenders. And that's what they can say, okay, let us just put him as the in-box striker that just pouch on goals. With the experience and positioning of the level of position he has, any other football club can actually give him a second chance. Okay,
let's move away from there now and talk about France, the defending champions, against England as well. That was a good one for them. 2-1 that ended. Olivier Giroud in the mix as well. Gareth Southgate is mulling his decision, to either continue on job or leave. What do you make of Southgate's time as England's boss?
As far as my own assessment is, he has actually done well for the team.
Okay.
He has imbued their confidence in them that could make them to get to the semi-final of the World Cup.
World Cup, yeah. Finals of the Euros as well.
Europe as well, and then quarterfinal. Just a penalty missed by Harry Kane that actually took them away from possibility of getting to the semi-final of the World Cup.
Okay.
So for the number of years that he has been there managing them, to me, he has actually done well enough. But if he feels that he needs another people, another set of coaching crew to come in and make it let's see if they can go beyond just getting to the near miss opportunity they usually have and get their hands on a trophy. It's been a long time before England has actually set their hand on a trophy.
Looking at this English team, there are those who have said over time that this is a team stacked with talents, you know, young players, new generation, and what have you. The only problem so many people have, which they deem is the weak link in this group, has to be the goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford. Do you think Gareth Southgate was right to pick Pickford over Nick Pope of Newcastle United?
It's a hard decision. And the thing about Gareth Southgate, which I've actually studied about his own selection style, is that he actually give consistency to players.
Players, exactly.
And that's what happened to Maguire. What performance is Maguire with Manchester United coming to the World Cup compared to what Fikayo Tomori is doing with AC Milan?
Exactly.
And you can imagine how he was left out of the squad.
Although Maguire has, you know, performed very well this World Cup too.
The same thing with Nick Pope. Pickford hasn't done too excellent for Everton this season.
Yes.
But he's still stuck. He's stuck with them.
Yes.
And that's what happened with his own selection problem.
Okay.
You keep giving them the belief that they will do better every time, and then you leave somebody that can actually make a difference, a huge difference for you on the bench or out of the squad entirely.